All right, so this is our cookbook mockup 8x10 Photoshop document that I've included in our assignment folder for project 3. And when you open it up, this is what you see. This is what it looks like. It is a mock-up, and if you, the first thing you're going to want to do is open the layers palette. And how you find that is you're going to go Window, Layers, and open your layers palette. The other thing I'm going to have you do is adjust your workspace. So if you haven't done that already, go to Workspace, Graphic and Web as your workspace. All right, so the way this works is you can see here, there's a note that says left page here, right page here. So what you're going to need to do in InDesign before you get to the Photoshop template, before you get to this mockup, is you're going to need to save out each page of your recipe, not as spreads, but as single pages. And you're going to need to save them as JPEGs and save them as left pages and right pages. And I've already done that. And so I'm going to show you how it works. So here you can see in the layers palette, I have a right page place here, a left page place here, and then we'll get into the other things we can adjust. So I'm going to double click on the right page here. And when I double click, it takes me to, if you notice in my tabs, a related file. It's a separate file, and it's because it's a smart object. So I'm going to go ahead and go File. I take it back, Edit. No, it is File. File, Place, Embedded. File, Place, Embedded. And I'm going to go to my pages that I've saved. And I've saved them out as single pages. And you can see I have cookbook spread right JPEG. I'm saving them as JPEGs, single pages. And I'm going to say place. And when it lands, it's landing right here. Now in Photoshop, I don't need to hold the Shift key down. I can just grab my corner and scale it up to fit my page. And when I click off, you'll see it scales up appropriately. And then when I have it the way I want it, I'm going to see out on the right page here, I'm going to go ahead and select both of my layers in the layer palette and say merge layers or Command E. So now there's only one layer here, and it says cookbook spread right, which is the name I named it. And now I'm going to hit save. I'm going to say Command S, save. So then when I go back to my mockup, you can see that my page is now in the mockup. And do the exact same thing here on the left page. I'm going to select the left page, double click, the left page opens. I'm going to go File, Place Embedded. I'm going to grab my left page JPEG that I created, place. I'm going to size it, making sure that I'm not changing the scale, and I don't have to hold the Shift key or anything. It'll automatically scale proportionately. I'm going to click off. I'm going to merge my layers, and I'm going to save, Command S. I'm now going to go here to my cookbook, and you can see now both of my pages are in my cookbook. But that's not all I have to do. I can also make some edits. I can decide based on my color palette. And remember, my Creative Cloud libraries still work in Photoshop. So I can go ahead and open up my libraries. And so there my color palettes are. And so I can look at the pages and I can make my pages a color. So I can double click on pages and I can take and make my pages a color by holding the pulling up the paint bucket tool. Actually, I'm not going to click there. I'm going to go over to my color palette, and let's say I'm going to choose a color from my color palette. And I've just made my pages a color. I'm going to hit Command S to save it. Go back to my mockup, and you can see my page is now green. My cover of my book can also change. My cover, I can decide I want it to be, let's make it gold. I'm going to save it, go back to my mockup. So now you can see my cover is gold, my page is green, and my background here is white. I can change my background as well. I can double click on the background color, go over to my color palette, cancel out of that, pick a color, any color from my colors, any color I want. I can also add an image. So if I had an image of like let's say I'm going to go and let's see. Let's say I'm going to Google, I was doing this over marble surface. Say I want to have a marble, like countertop kind of feel. I can go to images and choose a marble. And I have this thing too big, it's not. Okay, so here's my marble space, and I can, there it is. I can grab that off. And then I can go, move this off of here. And file, so I'm in here, file, place embedded, desktop, what is it called, photo. No, I think it's some weird file, but anyway, if it lets me scrap it as a, yeah, I think it saved it out as a weird photo. I'm just going to take a quick screen grab just to demonstrate. Okay. So here's my marble I'm bringing in, and it's just laying right above the background color. And so it can look like it's on a marble counter if I want it to look like that. Okay, do you guys have any questions? I see one no. So once you have it how you want it, and you've got all of those decisions made, your cover, your pages, your background, then you can go ahead and file, export as, and you want to save it as a JPEG, and you want to save it at 100% and high resolution JPEG, right? and then you go ahead and save it out. I'm not going to export this one, but you get the idea. Then you would export it, and then that's how you would do it. So, and then that's what we're going to be using in your Behance web page as we put our final web pages together for Behance with this project. So you want to take some time and make this look really nice, because this is going to be that portfolio mock-up you're going to be using. All right. And that's how you make a mock-up.